Hi everyone, how are you doing? A really warm welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer. It's so lovely to see you again. If you don't know me, my name's Alison and I'm a 50-something witch living here in Chesterfield in Derbyshire in the United Kingdom, and I'm here to talk about all things witchy lifestyle, all the things that bring us joy and some mundane lifestyle as well. And I'm so happy that you found my channel. Thank you so much for being here. This week I've been spending some more time in my little witchy backyard and doing some more planting and planning, and I've brought you along with me to see what I've been up to and hopefully give you some ideas for small space gardening. My little backyard is tiny. I don't have much space to play with, but I consider myself to be really lucky to have this little space, and it's giving me so much joy to share it with you. So come and have a look and see what I've been up to. Full transparency, I've been filming over several days. It wasn't all done in one go, so don't feel that all this got done in one fell swoop, because it didn't. And I really hope that you enjoy what I've been up to, and I'll see you back here at the end of the video. When I'm working out in the garden, I really like to have a little bit of incense burning, and these are really lovely incense balls that I bought from Curious Goods in Chesterfield. The thing with them is they do take quite a lot of light in, and they are quite smoky, but I really love them. And the reason I'm lighting it indoors is because it was crazy windy in Chesterfield on this particular day, which was Mother's Day actually, the end of March. And the reason I'm burning sandalwood incense is because this was in memory of my mum. I absolutely love sandalwood. I find that it helps to evoke really warm, comforting memories, and I wanted to think about my mum, who actually died on Mother's Day, and I wanted to be with her in the garden. She never got to see this garden, so I wanted to take that memory of her with me. And because it was so windy, it was hard to find a spot to put the incense, but here it is with my little gargoyle where it was safe and sound and the wind couldn't blow it away. I bought quite a few plants recently, and this one is Osteospermum. I love this plant because of the number of flowers that it produces. This one's not particularly vibrant at the moment. That's because I bought it from the Hopeless Cases table at our local garden centre. Now, you know how much I love the Hopeless Cases. I love to bring them home and see what I can do with them, and I've got high hopes for this one. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous plant, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it produces after a little bit of love and care. So I'm just potting it up and hoping that it does something for me. I love these blooms. I think they're so pretty, and it's going to look really nice if and when it does start to bloom for me. I'm trying to be really mindful as I'm working, thinking about the plants and the earth and everything that's going on around me. It was so windy, but it was really uplifting to be out in my little space on such a beautiful sunny day. The weather in Chesterfield has been absolutely beautiful for the last week, and it was so nice to be out in the fresh air, and I was full of memories, thinking about my mum and family and, you know, the past. And it's difficult to not feel a little bit emotional at a time like this, but I've got very fond memories of my mum, and as I was working, it was lovely to think that she was hopefully watching over me in the garden and loving the little space as much as I do. When I've finished planting, I just like to hold the plant for a moment, place my hands on it and just give it my energy and welcome it to my garden. And the next plant I've got is a beautiful primula. I've loved primulas this year. I've planted quite a few. This one's so beautiful, the colour's so vibrant, and I got this one along with 2 other plants that I bought from B&Q. B&Q is a garden centre here in the United Kingdom. I'm not sure what the equivalent would be in the US or anywhere else for that matter, but I find their plants to be really, really healthy. They've always got some really healthy roots, and they're always really well looked after in the garden centre. They're very well watered, and when you buy them they just look really beautiful. You can see how windy it was. Look how it's bobbling its little head around, and I'm loving the yellow colour. I think it's so beautiful. I absolutely love yellow. I find it so uplifting. When I look out of the window in the morning when I get up for work and I see the lovely bright yellow colours, it really cheers me up and gives me a bit of a lift before I start my working day. And I'm so pleased that I got this one. It's so gorgeous. It looks a little bit like a cowslip actually. It's got that same kind of trumpety flower, but I just think that this is beautiful. I really love this plant. I've got some bluebells and I was really excited about these. We've got some bluebells in our front garden. The couple who lived here before us, an elderly couple, underneath our bedroom and living room windows, they planted lots and lots of wildflowers, and there's lots of bluebells amongst those, along with daisies and grape hyacinths. And we were thinking about digging those up, but I'm not going to do that because I've already said many times that I feel that John and Mavis are still with us, and I don't want to dig up their flowers, not only because they're so beautiful, but I think it's nice to have them with us. I have no objection to them being here with us at all, but I did want some bluebells in the back garden, so I've got this little plant that I bought from Tesco, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this bloom. Nothing says spring like bluebells, I think, so I'm really, really excited to see these in their full bloom. I've mentioned before that I didn't really have much to do with gardening until the first lockdown, and this space became my saviour really, and I think that's true for a lot of people who finally made a connection with nature that they hadn't had before. You couldn't get compost for love nor money for quite a long time, and I think that people finally realised how important it was to have contact with nature, to get your hands dirty, and I know I really benefited from it, and I still do. I don't know how I got by without this little space. I just love it so much, and I feel so privileged to have it. It's only tiny, but it means so much. This was another hopeless case from the garden centre, this little pot of primulas. I just loved the pot. I love how weathered it is, and the plants, the flowers were absolutely, you know, on the last legs. So I brought it home, gave it a good talking to and a good watering, welcomed it to the garden, and it seems to be absolutely thriving. Never underestimate the hopeless cases. It's amazing what you can pick up, and I'm hoping that this is going to be one of my absolute winners. I'm so excited to finally get started on sowing my sunflower seeds. Now, I was planning to sow these at the spring equinox, but I felt it was a little bit too cold, and I want to plant them into their little pots and put them into the greenhouse, and I thought that it was too cold, and then I decided to wait for the new moon to give my seedlings a bit of new moon energy. Now I'm using the paper plant pots from Aldi that I have used before, but I felt that this year that they are not quite as strong as the ones I've had previously. So I'm also using the little plastic plant pots to support them. I always use this compost from Aldi, which I do think is really good, but you need to be careful because there's literally all sorts in there. I've found bits of plastic, bits of glass. I mean, I really should be wearing gloves, but as usual, I'm not following my own advice and I'm just winging it as usual. But anyway, yeah, just be careful if you do buy any of this. It is good value for money. There's lots in the bag and it's not expensive, and it does seem to help plants thrive, but just be careful. Anyway, that's my public service information for today. And yeah, so I'm planting Copper Queen sunflowers, and I'm planting giant single ones as well, and I'm hoping that this works. I've never planted them this late, and I've never planted them and put them straight outside in a little greenhouse before. I've not had the greenhouse very long, so I don't know if this is going to work. I really hope that some germinate. But you know what? If they don't, it doesn't matter, because I can always go and buy sunflower plants from the garden centre and put those outside instead. It doesn't matter. It's not about the end result for me. It's about the journey and going through the experience of planting and seeing what works and what doesn't. Now, I'm very much an instinctive gardener. I just do what I think is right. I've mentioned that before. I am not a gardening expert. I just do what feels right for me. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. I've still had fun doing it. I've been outside with the elements and I've had a great time in the process. So I think I've planted 10 single of the Copper Queen sunflowers, and I'm going to plant, I think I've planted 4 of the giant ones. So we'll see what happens. Now it just blows my mind that something that's my height and then some can grow from a seed that's like the size of my little fingernail. I'm just in awe of these amazing flowers. I absolutely love them, and it's just such a lovely thing to be able to grow them. So I really, really hope that they do flourish. I'm going to keep a close eye on them and give them all my energy and spend time with them, and we'll see what happens. So keep your fingers crossed for me, please. can't tell you how excited I was to finally put something in this lovely little greenhouse. I've been so looking forward to putting something in it. This little greenhouse is amazing, and I'm really surprised at how hot it gets in there. When the sun's been on it all afternoon, it's like an oven. I'm really impressed, and I've got really high hopes for it. I've been really looking forward to planting these particular plants up. These are foxgloves or digitalis, and I absolutely love them. I bought these plants from B&Q, where I've bought them from before, and they were really lovely, healthy plants. And one of the reasons that I love them so much is because they have such a protective energy in the garden. I find them to have a very strong protective vibe. But the main reason I love them is because the bees are absolutely crazy about them, and there's nothing cuter than seeing a big fat bumblebee go headfirst into one of the blooms and then have to reverse out because they can't turn around in there. They're too chonky to turn around, and it's just ridiculous. Their little bums are hanging out of the flowers and they look so cute. And I can't wait to see that. I'm really looking forward to that this year. Now, as I understand it, foxgloves bloom every 2 years. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I remember and as I understand. So we'll see what happens, but I've got high hopes for these, and I've picked up 2 varieties, and the first one is the kind of classic purple variety that you see most often, and the other one is kind of a pink and white variety. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what blooms these produce. These are a gorgeous flower and so pretty in the garden on a breezy day when they're bobbing around. I absolutely love them. You might be wondering why I've got all my plants lined up on top of these storage boxes at the moment. Well, the reason for that is that I like them all to be together, and I like to spend some time with them while they're settling into the garden, where I can water them all together, and I just like them to be here until I feel that they've settled in. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but that's how I work. And I'm also not decided yet on the final position of these plants, where they're going to go in the garden, which I'll explain more about in a little while. So for the time being, they're just together where I can keep my eye on them, keep them well watered, and make sure that they're okay until they go off to their final spot in the garden. This is the hydrangea that I cut back in my last video a couple of weeks ago, and I can't believe how much growth there is on it in such a short space of time. And honestly, I was just so excited about this greenhouse. It gave me so much joy to see these little pots in there and to zip it up and put them to bed for the night. And yeah, I was so excited. If you saw my last gardening video, you'll know that I'm planning to incorporate the elements of earth, air, fire and water into my garden. So I spent some time with the compass determining whereabouts the actual points of the compass are in my garden. And when I'd done that, I spent time reading up on different plants, herbs, crystals and decorations that would be appropriate for each of the points of the compass. And to do that, I used some beautiful books. Now, I've spoken before about The Real Witch's Garden by Kate West, which you know I absolutely love, but I've also got a couple more to talk to you about, and the first one is The Green Witch's Garden, and that's by Aaron Murphy Hiscock. Now, I know that lots of us love Aaron's work. We've talked about the Green Witch's Oracle and the Green Witch that Aaron wrote, and we love them because they're so accessible and easy to use and easy to understand. And this beautiful book is exactly the same. There's so much in here about plants and herbs and different spaces and how to start a garden journal, which is something that I would really like to do. And this has kind of given me the spark of inspiration that I wanted to start me off with the elements that I was talking about. I think this would make a great gift for a new witch as well, who really loves plants. The second book is The Magical Garden by Sophia, and Mark bought this for me years ago, and I'd almost forgotten that I got it. It practically jumped out of the shelf at me a few days ago when I was tidying up, and I'd forgotten I had it, and I'm so glad that it's made itself known to me again, because I found it really helpful. There's lots of folklore in here and lots of hints and tips for how to create a really magical space. There's even a chapter on garden tools and how some of them don't get on and shouldn't be stored together, which I had no idea about. But yeah, this is a lovely little book. I don't know if it's still in print, but definitely one that's worth picking up if you can get hold of it, because it's a real cutie. I decided to spend some time with my journal, my Book of Shadows, grimoire, whatever you want to call it, focusing on what I want to do with the elements in my garden now that I'd done some reading and some thinking. And I decided just to create a little page that I could keep in my mind and use to focus what I want to do with the elements. Now, the reason I like to do this is because I'm very visual, and when I've created a page, I can keep a picture of it in my head, and it gives me focus, it gives me something to think about, and I find it really helpful. I know not everybody works like this, but this is what I enjoy doing. Now, I'm no artist. I can make beautiful things with my hands, but I am not an artist when it comes to drawing and painting and that kind of thing. I don't mind having a go at it, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. So I love a good digital download from Etsy, and when there's so many beautiful things available and they're so inexpensive and it's helping another creator, I have absolutely no problem spending a few pennies to download some beautiful artwork. And I found this absolutely gorgeous floral compass, which was just what I was looking for, and I decided to download that to use as the base for my work, and I'm so glad I did, because it's absolutely beautiful. And I spent time with my favourite pens and ink and stamps to create something that would stay in my mind and give me a focal point for what I'm trying to do with my garden. So I went through each point of the compass and I wrote up what I'd learned about the different plants and herbs and decorative pieces that will work in the garden at the different points of the compass. And I really enjoyed doing this, and when I'd finished it I felt a lot more confident about what I'm trying to do. You can use your book of shadows or whatever you call it for whatever purpose you see fit. And of all the videos I've ever made, I think that the one that I made about my own book of shadows created, how can I put it, lots of people seem to be really anxious about what they put in their book of shadows, and I think they've been so conditioned to think that you can only put certain things in your book and it has to look a certain way. And I really hope that I managed to convince those people that that isn't the case at all. Your book and your craft are your own, and we've had that conversation so many times, and I just don't think that it can be reiterated enough that what you do with your own craft and in your own head and in your own book is your own business. It only matters how it looks to you. So if you want me to talk in more depth about this again and about how my own book is developing, I'd be more than happy to do that. So just tell me in the comments if that's something you'd like me to do. We can talk about how to start a book. We can talk about, you know, what to include in it, topics for, you know, projects for your book. We can talk about pens, paper, ink. We can talk about anything you like. Just tell me if it's something you'd like me to do and I will more than happily do that. Anyway, I'm wandering off topic because what I'm doing here is writing about what I've learned. I'm writing about plants and crystals and decorations and what each element represents. So this was a really interesting project and I found it really helpful. I'm so glad I spent this hour or so putting this together, because when I'd done it I had a much clearer picture of what I wanted to incorporate into my garden and a much clearer plan of how to progress. So I'm going to spend the next week or so deciding exactly what plants I want to buy to represent the elements and how I'm going to display them. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to working on. This is the next stage of my project and I'm really looking forward to bringing you along for the next stage. I really hope that you've enjoyed spending this little bit of time in my little backyard with me. I loved putting this film together. I really enjoy being out in the little space and taking you along with me, and it really feels like you're there with me. I know that sounds really strange, but I don't feel like I'm on my own, and that's a really nice feeling. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. If you've got a small space garden, please tell us in the comments below what you're up to, what you've been planting, what you've got planned, because we'd love to know. I know I would. I love that we share so many thoughts and ideas on this channel, and that's what I love most about this little space. I absolutely love that there's so many of us who chat together and share ideas together, not just about witchy life but about life in general. So please feel free to share your ideas with us, especially if you're new here. Please don't be shy. This is a really warm, welcoming space and we love chatting to each other, so please do come and join us. If you've enjoyed my video and want to see more of this kind of content, please do subscribe to my channel. You're more than welcome to be here. I absolutely love that you found my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon, and I look forward to spending more time with you. And until we meet again, I hope you have a great week. I hope that you look after yourself, find a moment of joy in every single day. Please take care, keep your light shining, and blessed be.